Healthy Friday. How to fight obesity, how we can eat more to weigh less. I know it sounds like a dream, sounds like a myth, but let's see. We're today with Kajal Bhatia, who's a whole food nutritionist and a diabetes educator. Eating more to weigh less, really, when eating mindfully as nature intends us to do, one need not necessarily count calories. So that is what we're going to learn about today. And as Kajal says, the irony of the society that we live in today is that we are overfed yet malnourished. So let's see, and we will learn a lot more as we go forward in the session today. But before we do, I'd like to tell you a bit about Sipping Thoughts. Sipping Thoughts is a multi platform media company that was co founded by me, Sukirti Gupta, and Meeta Gurgutia. It was set up keeping in mind the tagline, Real Women, Real Thoughts. We wanted to create a no judgment platform and a network of women for women, and of course, a lot of the men that have supported us. Sipping Thoughts reaches about 2.5 million people on a monthly basis. We are available on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube, and of course, do check out our website. We have a host of talks, we have a lot of webinars. I'm sure you'll find something that is going to be important for you. But today we're talking about uh, how to actually eat more and weigh less, how to be healthy. So we're very lucky to have Kajal with us. And from Kajal's team, we also have Ila. Kajal has a very unique expertise, and her expertise really lies in preventing and reversing lifestyle disorders like diabetes, cholesterol, weight, and hormonal disorders, all with the power of natural foods. Her corporate clients includes the who's who. She has the Boston Consulting Group, Dun and Bradstreet. Actually, we have something in common. My first job was with Dun and Bradstreet after business school. So Fullerton India, the ESSAR Group, JM Financial. These are just to name a few. She has also launched a plant-based functional nutrition brand called Plant Plant Power in its earlier avatar was called 8020, which was nominated for the Food Startup of the Year award at the Indian Food Forum in 2019 and in 2020. Currently, you can watch her in a series of the Health Food Challenge on the Food TV channel. Her love for writing and educating as many people as possible has brought her credit across various articles that have been published in Good Food Magazine, Salt Magazine, Bombay Times, Air Asia, etc. So, welcome, Kajal. We're excited to have you at Sipping Thoughts today.
Thank you so much, Sukriti and Sipping Thoughts. It's a lovely name. The sipping part of it totally correlates with what I do for a lifestyle practice as a lifestyle practitioner. I'm so glad to be here, and I will straight away go into the topic.
No, you won't, because first you will tell us what is our special giveaway today, because we usually don't do this. So we've got something very, very special today.
Oh, yes, of course. How can I forget? This is a hamper for everyone at Sipping Thoughts. One of them, actually, that Sukriti is going to choose to be
So
able to
one person that randomly, of course, that person would have to stay with us till the end. We will choose one random person and we will be sending this hamper to them.
So
So
it has the plant power coat for all products. It has some goodies which are healthy treats which are 100% plant based. This is coated cashews with fiber, and I'm talking about why I'm talking about cashews and weight. Usually it never goes together, but I will speak about it. There is also coated almonds, and there are protein bites which are available, which are in 100% plant-based form. There is a 100% plant-based soap bar from Sova that has also come, which is a collaborative brand that we work with. Because in today's days, Sukriti, it's all about co-creation, and we are happy to co-create with Sipping Thoughts as well. So,
fantastic.
so
But I'm going to jump right into it, Kajal, because I know this is a question. I know I'm dying to get the hamper. So don't, unfortunately, I think, nominated myself out. But my first question to you, there's so many diets out there, there's so many fads, there's so much information. How do we know? We are so confused in terms of what we should eat, how we should eat, what is really going to keep us healthy, and what is actually nutrition.
wow, that's a vast topic.
Lots of questions.
I can take this entire 30 minutes because I've actually learned this science over a period over a long period of time. Ila's been party to that when we were studying nutrition, and we've studied all kinds of diets, trends, facts, etc. the important thing to know, and I want to classify diets quickly for all of us, and Ela can share the email IDs just in case we are lost or missed somewhere, and you can reach out to us later for feedback. However, this is evidence based science that I'm talking about. The plant based lifestyle or plant based diets have been so far the most sustainable and efficient in maintaining health. And I want to share how with you. There are various diets, as we know. There was the Zumba diet, there was the Zuzu diet, then there was the Atkins diet that became famous. There was the blood group diet. There is the famous keto, and I know all of you are wanting to know about the keto diet and the main difference in that, and I will come to that. There is the paleo diet, there is the Mediterranean diet, and there's the raw diet, and of course the plant-based diet. So I want to take it all one by one, and I'll straight away move to keto because that's the hot topic, right? And yes.
One more question before we move to that. I know that there is the discussion, especially your expertise, that it is actually possible to reverse heart disease, possible to reverse diabetes, a lot of other ailments with actually diet. Is it really possible?
Well, I've been doing that for the last 12 years. I've been reversing lifestyle disorders right from skin disorders, which is acne, all the way to cancer with diabetes, heart disease, cholesterol in between. And yes, it is possible to have remission. It is possible to reverse them when one follows it as a sustainable lifestyle. We have pre and post in every case that Ela and me do, where we take results pre the plan, and we do the results post the plan. And in our in our clinical plans, it always is either the sugars have been completely down and there is no need for medication anymore, the cholesterol is off the charts in terms of the LDL, HDL is higher, the triglycerides come down, even in terms of weight issues, in a plant-based diet, it is possible if followed sustainably to have a sustainable weight loss as well. So yes, there is 100% potential to be able to reverse lifestyle disorders with the science, which is evidence based, which I practice, which is plant based. And coming to that, I just want to talk about the keto part, Sukirti.
Absolutely. I mean, we're all dying to know because that
Yeah.
is the latest and
Yes.
biggest thing out there. That and intermittent fasting.
Absolutely. So intermittent fasting becomes a kind of an integrated version in both the lifestyles. However, keto and plant-based both have short-term amazing benefits. Even keto, when I speak about keto, most of us know here, and I want to educate many that it is a high-fat, high-protein form of a diet, whereas plant-based is anything without animal products. When I say animal products, it simply means there is no dairy, there is no meat, there's no honey, there is zero animal ingredient. And there is a science based, evidence based reason for it. The keto diet, of course, there is definitely weight loss in a month. There are high energies that we've seen in my studies over a period of time. However, how sustainable is it, right? If you look at following a keto diet, Sukirti, it is highly possible that if you're looking at having a high fat, high protein diet, which is bringing down the weight, which is also helping you bring down the sugars, but are you sustainably able to follow it? If you see there is deficiency of micronutrients, because no animal product has very high level of micronutrients, it's missing in these minerals. There is zero fiber in high fat and high protein diets because both animal and dairy have no fiber at all. So everything that you're taking down in your system, imagine it's zero fiber and it's just clogging up in the entire body, waiting to burst somewhere. Okay, because as a result of that, there is indigestion and there is constipation. Okay, so if I had to have a plan which had to be high in minerals, which is the essence of life, I would have to eat 37,000 kilocalories of a keto diet on a daily basis just to have the minerals. Compare this to a plant based diet, which has got the natural fiber in it, which has rich in antioxidants, phytochemicals, zero cholesterol, and all of that, and you have something that's meant for your body. Okay, keto diet Also has created long-term cardiac issues for people. It's a modified version of the Atkins diet where it didn't work because it was too high fat, it was too much high protein. Imagine all that butter and cheese just clogging up your arteries after a period of time. And that's something that nobody, no expert can reverse for you. You have to be able to manage it well. And there is the issue of cardiac that is very, very integrated in keto's diet, which we are very much aware of. Everybody in medical science knows this factor. It's just a yo-yoing kind of a diet, and any yo-yoing kind of a diet should not be long term because there are many hormonal imbalances that are associated with it. The second category is the Mediterranean diet, which is healthy. However, it does have its own issues because it's not meant for India. I mean, all of us sitting here, do we really consume only olive oil? Are we only having pasta and cheese, which is meant for that climate? No, it's a different it's a different beast to follow. Similarly, a raw diet, right? I mean, a raw diet is great. You detox for 30 days and you feel great. You lose weight, your hair is great, your skin looks better, you're energetic. Yes, but again, is it sustainable? Any choice that we make related to a food plan, even if it's for weight loss, it has to be sustainable because that will come out in different forms. Keto will also get back to weight gain after a period of time if you are not able to follow it sustainably. And that's the biggest challenge with it. So, all these plans that are there, yes, they work for a bit. Then again, you have to come back to something else, etc. So, if you follow a lifestyle and don't look at calories for a minute, you'll still see that the plant based plan is the most classic sustainable form of plan if we just imbibe a few practices. Coming back to intermittent fasting, great way to lose weight, great way also to manage your digestive because your digestive needs rest. Okay, all of us, no matter, even we, if we are the best nutritionists in town and we keep on giving food plans, but how much is the body going to keep on eating? How much is your body going to keep on processing? It's like a car which has never stood in a garage. You can't just keep on churning it, making the wheels work all the time. So the body does need that digestive rest no matter which plan you are on. And intermittent fasting works great unless and until you do it in an extreme form, where it can also lead to muscle loss. Okay, so that's one thing that I want to share to the audience, that please, if you're following any kind of a diet, at least follow this. Keep calm and see a qualified nutritionist. Okay, do not go on jumping because all the issues, I know a lot of your audience, Sukriti, is women. There are also few men here, but just jumping diets is not going to help because we need to take care of our holistic health, and that's key. So intermittent fasting, yes, when you do it right, and don't just go excessive like 16 hours plus, 18 hours plus. Now I know people who are only eating 4 hours a day. Is that right? No, definitely not, because we are living different lifestyles here. So there, I stop this question, and I
But,
hope I've.
no, sorry, I'm going to come back to this question because I think a lot of people. What is the recommendation then for intermittent fasting if it is good for you?
So
Should you do it
Ela,
for 12, 8? What should you be doing?
I think you can step in here.
Yeah, yeah. Yes. So basically, intermittent fasting, you should not immediately jump into intermittent fasting, which is keeping your body fasted for a few hours and eating within a stipulated window. So I would say the glycogen stores in which is the energy stores in the body last for around 12 hours. So we definitely need to go beyond these 12 hours to be in a fasted state. But to start with, don't jump into a 16/8 kind of a intermittent fasting. Start with 14 hours, then slowly increase your hours of fasting to 15 and 16. But it has to be a minimum of 16 hours of fasting, because once the glycogen stores are depleted in the body, then the body looks for alternate sources of energy, which is the stored fat in the body, and body goes into a subtle state of ketosis, which is the burning of alternate fuel, because we are not eating anything, we are not getting any carbs. Hence, the body taps on the stored fat in the body as alternate fuel, and hence it leads to a weight loss,
Yeah,
basically fat loss also.
yeah.
And
And Ela, I think it's
yeah,
important to share about the muscle loss, right? Which is an issue in intermittent
yes, yes.
fasting that we
Yeah,
see.
and but it is very, very important to be eating right in that 8 hour window. You should not be depleted of the macronutrients, which are carbs, fats, and proteins, as well as the micronutrients, the vitamins and minerals. So, if you are not mindfully eating in those 8 hours, because once you are out of that fasted state, people usually binge on whatever they get to eat, or they feel deprived of. That should not happen.
Yeah,
Otherwise, it will definitely lead to a muscle loss.
yeah.
You
And
need to
one
be
thing,
eating right
yes,
in that window.
thank you so much, Ela, for giving that pause. One thing that I definitely want to add here, Sukriti, is when you break the fast, always start with a fruit. All right. Do not jump onto a large buffet meal which is full of carbohydrate and think you've fasted for 16 hours, because remember, the body is going through a recovery process. Even if it's fasting every day, it is not getting used to seeing a buffet the first thing you open in the morning. There is a process of recovery where you start with fruits, and I want to talk about fruits for weight loss, because even though a lot of people are worried of fruits, thinking that they will make you put on weight, it is the most important thing to have, because they have the fiber and the water, which are low energy dense. So you can keep on having those fruits and not worry about putting on weight. Even the banana. So in between meals. So Kirti, I know I'm jumping, but I hope you are resolved about the intermittent
Yes,
fasting.
yes. I think just one more question that just came, like what is allowed in the intermittent fasting period? And then we'll come back to the
Yeah. So should I
presentation of
type out the
the.
answer? Because I was actually typing the answer.
Yeah, yeah,
Is
please
it?
do.
Yeah.
Please do.
Okay. So
Yeah,
Kajal, I'll be answering that question.
yeah. So one thing that I definitely wanted to start with, in terms of what is actual weight loss, why is the weight staying on the body in the first place? Many people, and I meet clients in and out at corporates, and even who are doing amazing things at home, but they say our weight doesn't go off. Remember, weight is only a factor of what you give the body. All right, it is so easy to lose weight, because the minute you nourish your body, remember, the body fights for survival from the time you are in the prenatal state in your mother's womb. So from that time, you're fighting for survival. And if your body doesn't get nourishment from you, from the foods you eat, your body is going to go into a conditioning mode and a survival mode, and it will keep the fat on. So even if you are doing intermittent fasting, even if you are doing all these kind of amazing fitness plans, if you don't eat right, that weight is going to stay in a survival mode for the body, because fat is the highest concentrated source of energy. Remember, proteins and carbohydrate both are 4 kilocalories per gram. The fat is 9 kilocalories per gram. The body is intelligent. It knows what to latch on to, and it will keep that weight on for life till you don't practice how to eat right. So, what is eating right meaning? The main thing that if you start eating right, the body is going to start putting off weight. Ela, I know I'm giving up all our formulas for weight loss, but it is making our money spin, because this is the biggest industry. I mean, weight loss is so easy if you just learn how to eat right. And that's been our biggest thing mission at KB Health and Plant Power, that empower yourself, make the right choices for yourself, eat right in the food value chain that is offered to us, and you will see the weight will start shedding on its own. I use the word shedding because it's as beautiful. Of course, coupled with some kind of a lifestyle plan which involves exercise, sleeping right, all of that. But 80% is food and what you put into your body. So weight gain or weight loss, biggest myth buster. Eat right and you will drop weight. What is it by when we say eating right? It simply means that there is a food chain starting from fruits and vegetables, which are low energy dense, but also give low calories, high fiber, high phytochemicals. Make them a part of your plan. Move on to nuts and seeds, which are great fat, covered with fiber. The minute it becomes oil, it becomes processed and is useless to you. The third part, go with the carbohydrate, which is complex, the cereals, the starches, even though they are root vegetables, which could be, you could be feeling that, hey, a sabudana or a tapioca or a yam is full of calories, it's root vegetable, it's starch, but hey, it's got the fiber in it. It gives satiety to the body. It gives a signal to the body, stop eating now because I'm full. It's natural to you. Okay. And that's when you will see that in spite of that, the more you eat it, you will still drop weight. Okay. In spite of the fact that they could be a slightly higher calorie, but you will still drop weight because they've got the fiber with it, the antioxidants with it. So when you're choosing your food, okay, make sure that your meal does contain components which are not making you put on weight. That means the sugar, the salt, and the oil, which are the number one things. The excess protein, which is another problem because even that makes you put on weight. The excess fat, which is another problem because even that makes you put on weight. So watch that at least 80% of your power plate is full of these things, as high as possible in a natural form, as much as possible minimally processed. When I say minimally processed, at home also we are constantly processing because we are adding our own bit of fat, sugar, and oil, thinking that, hey, we are at home and we can do what we want and it's not outside food. But hello, it is still outside food if you're putting in loads of stuff which makes it feel like a dessert. So that's why we started Plant Power, because we wanted people to eat right, see the labels, and also understand ingredients. Okay. And there is protein in plant-based foods, which I will talk about next in my next topic. But moving on, I started with fruits and vegetables, which needs to be the bottom of the pyramid. Amazing number of it, amazing value of it, because it has
Can
all.
you eat as much fruits and vegetables as you want? I mean, when
Absolutely.
you're saying amazing number.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, I have friends, I have colleagues internationally who are living on a lot of fruit diet. And I don't want to use the word diet because I was sharing with you in the pre-session right now that it's overrated. Okay. Diets are overrated. It has to be a lifestyle. 80% of eating right has to be sustainable. And yes, fruits can be had in abundance. Of course, there are clinical challenges. If it's, let's say, a diabetic, if we just put him straight up on mangoes, it's a problem. But can he eat mangoes after a year of doing a plan with us? Of course he can. A diabetic can eat a mango, but it has to be done right. All right, it just can't happen overnight. Hey, I've turned plant-based and suddenly I'm eating a lot of fruits. Yes, there are the GAP5 fruits which one needs to be careful of, and one is
What are those 5 fruits? Please
yeah.
tell
So
us that we should be careful of.
yeah, so they are mostly associated with diabetes, but diabetes and weight gain are very interconnected. So I'll share the same. It's sitafal, which is custard apple. It's chiku. It's grapes. It's banana. And Ela, have I missed anything? There's one mango. Of course, mango, right? So 5 of them. But having said that, having even one of them in a day is fine. It just means that, okay, you just can't work with your body just on your own, thinking, okay, I'll yo-yo from here to there. If you don't know, then talk to someone. If you do know, then of course read a lot and do it on your own. Just see researched journals, that's all. um, uh, I was talking about fruits, right? And fruits are rich in minerals. Minerals are the base of life. We come from Mother Earth. That Mother Earth is full of minerals. The minute that minerals are put more in the body in form of nourishment, our ability to drop weight, because even weight loss requires minerals. Anybody who's a sports athlete here or a fitness trainer will know that there is an ATP mechanism that happens which needs involvement of vitamin C, iron, blah, blah, blah. So all of those minerals, if they are in the organic form, which fruits and vegetables and leafy greens do have, then consume a lot of that. Make that a part of your on the go kind of thing, right? And do not hesitate or be shy of it. Of course, we are not used to having so much fruits now, which is fine. That's why we created smoothies 10 years ago at our clinic, where we used to showcase smoothies to people before we tied up with raw pressery. And that's a great way again, if you can't eat so much, then drink it, but do it in some form. Of course, I shared about nuts and seeds. I shared about the complex carbohydrates. The next in line comes, Ela, what have I missed? Cereals, grains, nuts, seeds, fruits, and vegetables. This, in a composite form, without the milk and dairy, is good enough for us to live a long, healthy, classic, disease preventative, disease reversal lifestyle. All right. And there are, of course, it was not out there when I started practicing it 12 years ago, but it is out there, out in the open. There has enough data and more that is coming out in evidence-based science talking about these subjects. Okay, so I'm not a fly-by-night operator just talking about it. I've practiced it for 12 years. We have enough testimonial, guys, and Ela can share more about us to you. You can just, like us and then join us.
So a
Yeah.
couple of questions have come in that are very relevant. So how good are smoothies? Because a lot of people say don't drink your fruit. You have
Yes.
to eat your fruit. And which ones are the best versions? Another one that's come in, what about sweet potato and melon? Can they
Okay.
be included in a diabetic diet?
So, sweet potato, in fact, yes. I'll start with the second question first because that's my favorite answer. Yes, you can go ahead with sweet potatoes, have sweet potatoes, baked fries, and you will see that you might not feel the need even for dinner. Sometimes they can replace a cereal or a grain, which is amazing because they rate higher over cereal or grain in nutrient value. You asked me about the smoothie, and the smoothie is simply for a practical application, Sukirti, and people at Sipping Thoughts, for people like us, somebody like me, who was not able to eat so many fruits. Okay, number one, great if you have so many fruits. Great if there are foodistas here who are into raw eating. But I wasn't able to. And we saw that if we blended fruits with the green leafies, which are important, which makes it a smoothie, then you do see that you can have a good balance of micronutrient and macronutrient nourishment for the day. Okay, so I'm not going crazy all day thinking, oh, I'm not eating fruits only. Leave it, yeah, it's not possible. We just create a concoction that's better. It is not the best, but it is definitely better than the rest. I would easily look at it as replacing any carbonated beverage, any dairy beverage in the morning, and instead having the smoothie. So why not? Go and put in those chia seeds, go and put in the extra plant protein powder. Incidentally, we got plant power does also do plant protein powder, which we give to people for smoothies. However, the base of the smoothies, fruit and green leafy. The base of the green juice, vegetables and green leafy. And that's the combination. Okay. Don't mix fruits and vegetables and think it's a smoothie. The whole purpose of the smoothies was to enable people like us who are not used to chewing, which is important, but you need to eat some number of fruits and vegetables in a day. That's why the smoothie was born.
And the
So,
catch, Kajal, is we don't strain the smoothies. So,
yeah,
anyways, you're not
the
eating it,
fiber.
but you are getting the fiber in the
Yes.
smoothie.
That thanks for sharing that, Ela. We do have to share that to so many clients on and off. So that blend is important. We don't strain. And yes, Ela, when we are straining also sometimes because children don't like it sometimes like that, then we put that strained fiber straight into the deep freezer and people can use it in their attas, in their soups, all of that and make it a high fiber roti or a high fiber soup, and nobody knows about it. They just have it in the house. So many benefits. So Kirti, I can go on with fruits.
Yeah, no, two more questions on the fruits. One is that a lot of discussion is always there that you should not have fruits at night. Is it better to have them in the morning? You should eat your fruits before you have your meal. You should not eat them after. What is because you've said now fruits and vegetables are the base.
Yeah. So thanks for bringing that question. It's a lovely one. Yes.
Thanks to Gauri.
Okay. Thanks, Corey. That's a great way to look at how discerning are we in our choices, right? And let's say we have triglycerides, okay? And triglycerides is a result of the excess fat that is being stored in the body. If you are eating way beyond your actual meal times and you'll end up eating fruits, especially the GAP5 fruits, you will find that fruit, if there's inactivity in the body, there is you're just constantly eating and at that 20% which I told you of where you're not following any kind of walking activity, no no workout, no yoga, then the body still stores that glucose, okay, of the fruit, which is called fructose. That converts into fat. So 80% eating right will still make you lose weight. However, remember there's a 20% in all of us. And no food, I want to categorically declare this on this forum, Sukirti, that in spite of us talking about food, and we are food nutritionists and we are the experts and we declare and we claim weight loss amazing solutions, there is no food in isolation that is giving us weight loss. It is always a lifestyle that is followed in the day. That's why it's important that the fruits are timed not post 3 p.m., largely for people, because by 3 p.m., a lot of us land up eating a lot anyways. We don't want to keep on, over pressurizing the system. That's why fruits no. But if you're eating a plan that's well balanced through the day, it's not going to cause a problem. You anyways won't have the triglycerides. So let's not worry about it. If you're not eating right, which I'm coming back to, that's when you have to look at how you're eating your fruit, when you're eating your fruit. If you're having a crazy haphazard pattern, erratic lifestyle, avoid it at night. Start your day at least in the morning with fruits. That's my biggest suggestion because the body does elimination in the night. So in the morning, when you start your day, start with a fruit because it helps the body digest everything and cleanse out. So that's again a big signal for weight loss or people who are on this journey that it's important to cleanse yourself every day like a new car that's working on the street, and it takes 24 hours for everything that we have eaten to be processed and thrown out. If it's not eaten right, forget weight gain. It's going to cause a lot more issues. It's going to cause diabetes, heart disease, cholesterol, all of that. So I'm not going to talk about that today. I'll take some other opportunity with sipping thoughts to talk about the other lifestyle disorders. But let's talk about weight loss again and weight issues, and have the fruits in abundance. Just if you're clinically not in the right metrics, then reach out to us and maybe we can help you with it.
Now, two more questions. One's coming from Geeta. Which are the best fruits to have? Second, how late can we have dinner? Which is coming from Shweta. Third question, of course, from me is when I think of a smoothie, I think of it blended with yogurt, the fruit. Now, so three questions for
Sorry,
you.
I'm going to address the third question first. No, no. Yogurt, yes, it's the probiotic and the prebiotic story. But you know what? If you're having fruits, your body's microflora is anyways getting better. The gut, which is getting the fiber because of the fruit, is anyways getting enriched. What is happening is once you have it with a dairy yogurt, which is zero fiber, remember guys, it's like anytime let's say we are having a medicine, we do have to take some water with it, right? The same way when we are having food, it needs to come down a digestive and it needs to be thrown out. The waste needs to be thrown out of our large intestine, which is the colon, and the nutrients need to be absorbed into the blood for better health. However, if you're not going to watch that, then your body is going to get clogged. Okay. And we definitely recommend that you eat right to make sure that the fiber is eaten and all the food chain that I mentioned, right from fruits all the way to the complex carbohydrate, you have to see that there is fiber in each. So when your power plate is coming in front of you, is there enough fiber in it? And is it as natural as it can get? Because that means it's alive. And that means it is got minerals in it, So remember these two things, because if the fiber is not there, which is not there in yogurt, okay, zero fiber, zero. If it comes enriched. You know what's enriched? Enriched means when something comes on top as fortified, like vitamin D is fortified, B12 is fortified. Similarly, if fiber is showing on a dairy or a meat product, it is fortified on packaging, okay? You want it natural. So make sure that all the things that I'm speaking of, which are the components, are major part of your food. And if you're having yogurt, because you don't know how to make plant-based yogurt, and I can teach you that, but let's say you don't know, and it's for convenience, just make sure you're chugging it very, very like 20% and 80% is your fruit. The yogurt is just for taste. As a starter, I can give you that. Second question that you asked is about the smoothie, right? You
The,
mentioned.
the smoothie, the best five fruits to have, and how late can we have dinner?
Okay, so if you're having your smoothie, I would suggest it first thing in the morning, all right? If you're not having fruits. The smoothie, ideally, because your day needs, and smoothies are energizers, they perk you up, they get you alive to something that needs to happen as activity during the day. So your body does need that fuel, the glucose. So I will choose the GAP 5 fruits in a general kind of a profile to be having it. I told you about those cap 5 fruits. It's Zafal, Chiku, mango, banana, and ila,
Grapes.
grapes. Okay, so those five are actually the energizers. The minute we start doing strawberry and blueberry and all that and putting it in something else, it does become lifestyle. It does become gourmet. But I could add a little bit of that. I would not make it the base. So if you want fuel for your daily plan, then we popularly use banana ila because it's like no fuss, full convenience. Just open it up. For people who are worried about weight loss, we tell them, okay, have the elaichi kela. For people who are saying, you know what, but we still need the energy, we say, have the whole golden banana, dunk it into a blender and put the leafy greens, chug it, add some lemon, drink it. So that's that. And the third question was,
The dinner. How late can we have dinner?
oh, I would say, as a professional who's been working for a larger part of my recent life, all days work, all days play, right? But not for the body. Not for the body. The body does need its digestive rest. And the best time is night, absolutely, where the body needs its digestive rest, because just as the circadian rhythm comes down, just as the sunset happens, the body is gearing up to sleep. All right. And imagine that when the body is wanting to sleep, okay, in 90% of people, the body wants to sleep at night, all right, unless it's a night job. So I'm only going to talk about those. So if that's the case, and during the time that the body is getting into a sleep mode, you are actually putting in you are actually putting in food which needs digestion, which needs effort to process it, which makes the mind thinking, which keeps you up at night. That's not a great combination, anyways. So I would not, even though you can eat a lot to lose weight, I would not suggest it, because just get that. I would not even fast, Sukriti, for that matter. I would just say eat early enough before the night sun lockdown happens in our life, which is 6 p.m. or 7 p.m., max 8 p.m., and gear up your body in a state that it's not even eating. It's not doing anything. It goes into a state of inertia where there is complete rest. And that's when it processes, it digests, it eliminates all the waste. And next day morning, you're up and ready for showtime, literally, because you're high in energy. So that's my take.
Kajal, you now mentioned now there are a lot of people that are working these rotational shifts, or a lot of people, especially that come home very late and they have dinner at 10 o'clock. So, how do they then manage? And then the second question that's come in from Facebook is about mixing of fruits. Like there's a lot of people thinking that possibly Mosambi and papaya should not be had together, or certain fruits should not be mixed together. Is that okay to mix all fruits? And what is your take on that?
So rotational shifts. Uh, I'm not very fond of it, but I do realize, because I've worked with Bradstreet, Boston Consulting Group, and I've seen the erratic hours, and that's what made me bring up plant power. Actually, honestly, because how can I bring convenient, healthy, trustworthy, credible foods into a package and still give people, even though it's processed? All right. Well, honestly, Sukriti, that's where it actually took off for me 2 years ago. However, saying that, there are munchies, there are ways for people. When you say rotational, I believe that you're saying that they actually stay up in the night and they
Or they
go.
work at night. A lot of
Yeah.
students stay up till 3 in the morning
Yeah.
studying.
Anyways, it's, as a practitioner, I would never endorse it. I would always, share with a child or with a teenager. I have a son myself who's 21-year-old, and Because of the lockdown, he's here in India. He was in the US and staying up nights and I see how it's affecting his daytime because it is important. See, sleep is a very important factor of nourishment. All right. And for some reason, if you have to stay up at night in any kind of a job, just make sure that you're giving your body the right fuel in the day to be able to sustain at night. And in the night, if you're eating, a lot of us have coffee in the night, right? Forget the social drinking part of it. It actually is a way to stay up at night for many. I know during exam students to share with us, know that, oh, I have coffee because I have exams tomorrow. Is that the right thing? Definitely not. So coffee, junk foods, indulgent comfort foods need to be avoided. What needs to be with you? What needs to be with you is actually those nuts and seeds, those fruits, so that you're energized. Because what's the point? Eventually, anyways, the body will give in and it will sap of its natural energy, which it needs. So rather than taking recourse to supplements or energizers, keep those 5 things that I've mentioned as a part of your game plan. All right. Whether it's eating at home, eating right, making sure that the right brands are in your pocket, in your wallet, or in your, in your car, in your train, everything. But just make sure that at least out of 30 days, 25 days, make it a lifestyle. See where you've gone wrong. If you've jumped off the train, get back on track, but that's the only way that you can keep it sustainable. So this is my advice. And what I've mentioned as part of the food chain is not expensive. It doesn't mean you have
Please
to.
repeat the food chain again so that people are clear because we will talk about the second part. There's a lot
Okay.
of questions on also the nuts and seeds because of the high calorie content. But
Oh yes, I
yes,
want to talk about it.
yeah,
So
but first, please just re-mention the food chain. And the second question that came is about the mixing of fruits. Can any fruit be mixed together?
Um, okay, so yes, carbohydrates and leafies can be mixed. Carbohydrate and vegetables can be mixed. Protein and vegetables can be mixed. Carbohydrate and protein cannot be mixed. I'm talking about the theory of nutrition, all right? It's as if I'm conducting a nutritional seminar, but it's fine. Just get the base of it right. You don't have to do it all at the same time. If you ask me what is eating right, a roti is not the best way to go with a butter chicken. Okay, you'd rather have your grilled chicken and put some leafies on the side. I know I've shared the word chicken here. Don't get alarmed. I don't endorse it, but I know many of us do eat it. So if you're eating wrong, at least there is a way to eat right. I would definitely ask people to switch off that and move on to mushrooms and jackfruit and whatnot is coming out there in the world of plant-based meat. But however, let's talk practical. If it's roti, you know have have the roti in the afternoon, 25% of your power plate. It should not go to 50%. So the combination of foods, of course, depends whether you're sedentary, moderate, or extremely physically active. It also depends on that because the calorie count changes. However, there are some no-nos. For instance, we make sure that we are not having very high pepper, for instance. Ela, if you can, right now I'm like just going off in every tangent, but we have so many combinations, right, that we share with people that, oh, don't eat roti and rice together. That's a popular one. That, eat mono cereal, eat one grate at a time. Because imagine you are having a grain and then you are multi mixing it, and the body has to constantly take out so many enzymes and catalysts for it to process it. So keep it simple, keep it mono as far as possible. Of course, enjoy buffets when you go out, enjoy your parties, but make sure that you're at home. 80% of the time, your meals are mono. Similarly, we talk about blending of
When you
oils.
say mono, just one type of dal.
One type. Yeah. I mean, it's not that you put things together and suddenly you're
But
going to get a.
fruits and vegetables we can mix together. That is not an issue. Or is that also we should be mono?
So when you say fruits and vegetables, are you talking about fruit salad? Because that's
No,
where.
no, no. Fruits, let's suppose mixing, like somebody asked, papaya and mosambi and other things together, mixing Is that okay? Is that not okay?
No, not at all. We don't advise it. There is no purpose. There's no functional purpose to it. If you're interested, if you're, it's become a monologue that, oh, my nutritionist or my health coach is just keeping on saying eat this daily, and I'm bored of it, and I want to put that plan away in the trash can and start experimenting. It's a different thing. But in food science, there is no need to have this peculiar combination. Of course, if you're having an iron deficiency, okay, and weight loss does, I come back to weight loss, it does require iron as a process. It requires all minerals, right? So iron and vitamin C would always be clubbed, okay. We would club vitamin D and calcium, clubbed, okay. Similarly, I told you about protein and leafy vegetables, clubbed, carbohydrate and protein in pulses form and legumes from, clubbed, okay. But all of that with fat, sugar and oil which is in processed form, out, you know. Try and keep it natural. Do not over fry. Do not add extra white. In fact, we don't talk about any whites. No white sugar, no white salt. So there are these rules of food combining that we go with. And it's an extensive topic. I don't want to confuse people here, but it does need personal advice or attention because it depends on the profile. So yes, but papaya and what did you say? Mosambi?
Mosambi,
No, no,
yes.
no, no need at all unless you love it. Have it.
So you can have both the fruits at the two different times. You can have a bowl of papaya at one time and and a whole mosambi at some other time.
See, Sukrati, thanks, Ela, but Sukrati, the point is it's not going to harm you. But is it going to have like wow function? Not that I know of in nutrition science. Okay. So that's my submission to you on that. And what is the next question that you asked? You did ask a question, right?
I said to repeat the food pyramid that you have
Yes. So
defined.
the fruits and vegetables, the fruits, they become the base of the chain. And even in a day, it's not that, guys, it's not that I'm eating 10 fruits a day, all right? This is theory of nutrition. This is the way it goes back to in theory, all right? We do struggle as nutritionists. We also have our, temptations, but we do know the science of it, and this is what works. The base, fruits and vegetables comes next. Then comes the leafy greens. When I say leafy greens, it's not just palak. It is just not palak. It is tandalya. It is, or as we call it, tandalya is called lalmat, right? Lalmat. It is your beet greens. It is your carrot greens. It is your all the greens that you want to throw away in the dustbin and keep the root vegetable on. No, keep the greens also with you and use it in your smoothies, use it in your chutneys. All right, the leafy greens, the nuts and seeds, all forms, all nuts and seeds when they are with the fiber in the whole form. This pack of coated nuts that I was going to share in the hamper, we actually coated protein on it purely because we believe in the nut. Okay, and there is a layer of protein on it because there are people who are working out, there are people who run, there are people who want to lose weight, and they are still looking for that protein somewhere. So we just coated it with millet protein. But the nut is important to be in its integral form. Okay, then comes the complex carbohydrates, which is your starches, which is your cereals, your pulses, your millets, all of that, which can be clubbed into one group as complex carbohydrates. Even fruits are complex carbohydrates. And that's your food chain. And that's enough. It's enough. All right. Of course, we have this whole big thing about where's my protein. But, you know, just see this, and think to yourself that in all of this, there is some form of protein that is giving you some kind of amino acid profile that is becoming the building block for the body in terms of protein. And we have survived for it for many years. I have survived like that. Ela's been now on this kind of a plan, and we know many athletes who run the Conrad, the Ironman, for India, competitive sports, who are all taking this as the bulk of their foods. And then, of course, comes the indulgence in terms of whether you go for the dairy or whether you go for the non-veg, which we don't advocate, but people still end up having it. Keep it minimal, right? And then the last, which needs to be like completely avoided, is the sugar, the fat, and the salt in refined form. So that's the pyramid all the way top to bottom.
Now, question came up about salt because of the fact, don't we need the iodine from the salt? And what is the refined form of salt that we're talking about?
Uh,
And yes, and ghee.
oh, wow. So ghee is, oh my God, it is going to be controversial in India, what I'm going to say. But salt, yeah, it till the industrial revolution, we were all having uh, the mineral salt that was coming from the lakes and the oceans directly to our homes. If anybody remembers the freedom struggle and the Dandi, was it the Dandi March, Ila?
Very much.
Yeah, the Dandi March. We were all till then living on the mineral salt, which has more than 334 traces of minerals. Yes, the iodine fortification happened after the Industrial Revolution because there was a need for people who were going into war, where there was some kind of a deficiency which happened when people used to go long term on seas to the battlefront. Okay, uh, this idea was capitalized and somehow went into dabbas, which became what we all now all call as iodized salt. We all are coming back to that tradition of eating salt, which is actually unrefined and wholly processed, because the whole fact about it being in salt pans and being evaporated from the lakes and the rivers and the oceans is because that salt is rich in mineral. The salt at the salt pans is rich in minerals naturally. Once it goes to the factory, it actually gets bleached, deodorized, and then there is fortification in it. All right. Before it even went to the factory, there was already iodine that was there in that salt. It was available with other nutrients, micronutrients like selenium, biotin, zinc, sulfur, all of that which were important. However, it got demineralized, iodine was put into it, and it became iodized salt. The body needs minerals. The body needs minerals that have been created by nature in integration. I'm not saying pick up the salt from the salt pan. I'm simply saying have a cleaner version of that salt in an unrefined form, because that salt is organic to the body. It translates into minerals that the bones and the teeth and the blood and hair and skin and your gut need. It is not something that needs to go to a factory and come enriched to us. Okay, I don't deny that even we enrich some of our things with minerals, because they are important and they are no longer available in natural form for us in the way we want it. All right, if it was available package, easily happy to send it to you. However, it is important that what is possible, have it in the unrefined form. So that's the salt.
Two, three questions. I think one of the ones, especially about the nuts. The another nice question that has come in. All questions are excellent that are coming in. What about good sources of protein for vegetarians? And then Richa is asking, how do we stop cravings for junk food?
Ela, do you want to take one?
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So,
People will be tired listening to me.
so I would say all plant foods are rich in protein. In fact, all fruits and vegetables also contain proteins, though in very small quantity. But very rich sources of proteins are, of course, the pulses, lentils, beans,
Sprout.
nuts and seeds. Yes, sprouts, and of course, your cereals, which are the meals. They also contain some amount of protein.
Yeah.
So there actually an abundance of protein in plant foods.
Yeah. So I do want to emphasize here, Ela, about the fact that in our studies we also found, and we've come up with amazing research lately with our international collaborators, where we know that it doesn't need to happen in one meal. You know, when we go looking for protein, it can be or in a day as per lifestyle, where there is good enough of amino acid because of the diversion or the diversity of the things we eat in the value chain. And we are still able to stay alive, have good strength in our bones because our body feels it. And all of you, please experience this plant based lifestyle. We have something interesting coming up soon enough, if with sipping thoughts later on. However, I do wish to profess that you will feel it. You feel the energy because it's so mineral rich, right? So the protein, again, which are there in plant-based foods, there is a PDCA score, which is a protein digestibility amino acid profile. That is, in a plant protein, it is 0.9. In animal protein, it is 1. All right. However, the plant protein, free of cholesterol, fiber rich, antioxidant rich, phytochemical rich, disease reversing, lifestyle reversing, preventing in many ways, Animal protein, on the other hand, inflammatory, it causes too many issues for the body, difficult to digest also often, because we have patients coming back to us saying that the way in the protein is actually causing them to bloat. There's indigestion, there are hormonal imbalances related to that. So, and it's very concentrated, right? So the protein can be available at many levels, even in a pea, right? Ela, we have pea protein, and you eat a batana for that matter, and you'll get some form of protein. The ideal ratio for protein is 0.8, uh, 0.8 grams per ideal body weight per kg. Okay, so that's the basic score for someone who's sedentary. The minute you accelerate your physical activity, it goes to 1. The minute you actually accelerate more, it goes to 1.2, and it's all available on plant-based diets, and you can come back to us for it. We can surely guide you guys on it. So that's that. The second question was,
The nuts and the fact that they're high calorie, and then how can we stop cravings is the third question. And I know we're running out of time. There are lots of questions coming in.
oh, okay, so let's compress them all. Ela, please shoot out our handles so that we can still answer those questions on maybe our Instagram likes, or come back to Sipping Thoughts and answer more later. However, nuts and what you mentioned about high calorie is so integrated, in a way, because when we talk about nuts, yeah, we always worry how many nuts are having, but we never think about how much oil we are having that is being used in our kitchen in a day. All right, that's the hazard. The nuts are not the hazard, because nature has made it in a way that even as nutritionists, we always say a handful. All right, it's a handful. This is how you measure it. Okay, the minute you have this handful and you have fiber which is laced on it, which always is there in a whole nut or a seed, you will see that the satiety does come in if it's followed as a lifestyle. But let's say that you're just only on a plan which is full of fried food that you've been having as a part of your lifestyle on a daily basis. The minute you'll go to the nut, you will binge on it. You will see it that, hey, why am I not stopping? You're not stopping because the lifestyle that is being followed so far is only been on a fried food. And your body has never ever actually realized what good fat is, which is in the nuts. Now, remember, the fiber which I spoke to you about is the most important thing. And that is not giving the body any kind of weight gain in spite of the nut being fat rich. It is the good fat. It is what is making your skin alive, especially women, pregnancy, lactation, just being healthy, your bones. I mean, nuts and seeds, they're so vital to our daily life. We call them our bodybuilders. In
So
nutrition
how
science,
much
we
should you have? Just one handful a day,
handful.
or one
So, yeah,
one handful in a day?
so when I say handful, it of course depends, right? So Kirti, if you are on a plan where you are anyways knowing things are happening in the kitchen which are just not maybe as measured, or you're not aware of how much oil is going into your kitchen, you need to reduce that quantity. But if you're anyways on a plan which is healthier, and there's not enough uh, extra oil that's happening in your life, your body does need some oil. Otherwise, like Ela said, there is going to be muscle loss. There needs to be some fat on the body. The fat is good. Fat is nice. It can still bring weight loss if it's eaten right. All right. It's a macronutrient. Macro means it's important. It's not absolutely not needed. Even on a weight loss plan, we always make sure there's some kind of fat that's required. Otherwise, the skin is going to sag. Your bones are going to be like weak. And by the time you hit 40 or 50, you're going to start crawling. So coming back, handful, and now you can even make almond milk with those nuts. You can make all kinds of seed milks with that. There are so many plant-based products available. We ourselves experiment in our own lab all the time with it. We are amazing bodybuilders, all right? The minute you feel that you've got above this, you stop. And that's called mindful eating, all right? And if you feel that it doesn't satiate you enough, then it's a conditioning issue and it's no longer a food issue.
Now, a couple of more questions. First, about your take on ghee. Definitely want to hear that because now you've got our minds going. The second question is how to deal with cravings. And the third question, that even if you don't have thyroid or any of these other issues, and you're active, but you're still not able to lose. Those are the last three questions before we end for the day.
Ela, please answer the first.
I thought
The
you were going
ghee,
to tell us
right?
about ghee.
I would say that is a very controversial subject. But of course, at since we are plant-based nutritionists, we maintain that ghee comes from animal food, which is milk, and with that, it comes with cholesterol. It of course has hormones from the bovine body, which comes into the uh, uh, product, which is ghee. So we don't need any hormones, external hormones entering our bodies or the cholesterol, because body is itself able to manufacture whatever cholesterol it needs. We don't need to put in dietary cholesterol. So ghee for sure is rich in cholesterol. And people say that Ayurveda says that ghee has to be taken. Uh, of course, in Ayurveda, it used to be given with medicines. So the quantity used to be very, very low. Okay, that is just for the medicinal purposes. Now we actually eat spoonfuls of ghee on everything. We heat it for tempering, which is actually not good.
So, we are not Ayurvedic nutritionists, Sukriti. I do
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
declare here. So, if people are expecting us to say, "Oh, dosha ke liye theek hai," and this and that, we are not it.
yeah, not.
What we know is pure food science, which is 100% evidence-based data, which we work with on a daily basis. Of course, ghee is renowned. Let's give it its due glory, right? For what happened in traditional nutrition. Okay, the ghee. When what I have learned and researched and what we are very comfortable with, Ela and me, is that ghee, if not on a diet or a therapy that we give to our plants, to our patients, they improve extremely well, especially on the cholesterol counts, even sometimes energy, which is surprising because we have absolutely no measure of any food that is being told to us. We start liberally using it, and ghee goes in by the tons in every khichdi, every roti, every snack that is there, and it becomes something that is the norm. Even in Ayurveda, what I studied for a little bit and what I learned is that key was always a dosage. It's like somebody going to a doctor and saying that I'm not feeling well because I have IBS or irritable bowel syndrome, and the doctor would say, or the Ayurvedic doctor would say, you know what, रात को एक चम्मच घी सोने के पहले ले लेना या आप एक मील में डाल देना. Not the way we are rampantly using it, you know. It is still processed, you know, and it is still creating issues now, especially because of the way it's processed. There's so much adulteration happening. But more importantly, from the food science point of view, Ela and me know for a fact that ghee is not vital to the body. If somebody chooses to have it, make it your 20%. Is it needed for your bones? Dadimas have been sharing it for ages together. Not necessary. Fruits and vegetables are needed for the bones, not the ghee. So if you up that quantity and reduce your ghee, you are still going to get the results with the minerals. All right. So that's where, again, I submit to you on this that this is our study of it, and this is where we do our reversals. And there have been amazing reversals without the ghee.
Now, the next question, dealing with cravings. And the last question that we get, we do everything right, we're working out, we're eating right, but we're still not losing the weight.
Oh, wow. So,
Yes. The last
so
two. I
yeah,
know there's so many coming in, but I will tell you again,
yeah.
please do go to their Instagram page. She's also given her email. We will also, please do put it on our Facebook page. We will try to get as many questions answered as we can.
Okay, so I want to talk about working out, right? I did share at the start that The body is intelligent, all right? And the only reason why we don't drop weight, unless, of course, there is an autoimmune disorder. Autoimmune is something that is far more subclinical in nature. It is not genetic. It is not something that if you are born with parents who have been overweight or highly overweight, that means you are going to be overweight. It is a lifestyle related thing. Even right now, Sukriti, all of us, I wish I had a standing desk in my home. I keep it at my office, and I make sure that I'm not sitting and working. I make sure. I mean, initially when I made the office, everybody used to laugh at me because I used to stand on their heads and I used to work, on a standing desk. However, it's very, very important that we are mobile. And 1 hour of a physical workout doesn't mean mobility. Let's say that we are still very physically active, but are we eating right? Eating right is a large component of the way what we think is eating right. When you said right at the start, is yo-yoing eating right? No. Is cutting out, important macronutrient like carbohydrate, is that eating right? No, because that's giving you energy. Within 2 months, you will be crawling back on your feet for the sugars, right? So what it is when you say I'm eating right, we've done so many surveys, so many seminars. There is that X factor that is still missing in us as a human race that we don't know of. What we know is that when you're eating right, your energies are high first thing in the morning, like a chicken that is springing out of bed. Okay, it stays the same, that energy from morning to evening, all like this, not like this. Okay. Secondly, your digestion. Are you eating right? Then you will digest well. There'll be no constipation, there'll be no acidity, there'll be no reflux, there'll be no IBS, there'll be no weight gain if you're eating right. Okay. So that thought or the dialogue you need to have with your body, and what is it that's going wrong here? All right. So I think, Ela, I have kind of shared that. In if you have anything to add to this, which we talk about, please do, because I want to go to the next question.
We have
I
almost
think, yes, we are also running out of time. So I
Yeah.
would just ask you to just again summarize 80-20 so that people understand that. And that is kind of what is the key takeaway from today's session. And any last words before we sign off for today?
Oh, thank you, Sukriti. So
I know you're also getting
no,
dry mouth.
no, it's just that it's definitely a overload of information and a new way of thinking, and it takes time to process. And I'm very appreciative of the fact that it doesn't have to be a rush syndrome here. It's not like, hey, I've got a new diet and let's jump on it. Give the body the respect, give the body the time. It will assimilate, it will do it, but start today. All right, that's the thing. The takeaway for weight loss is follow the food chain that I would suggest to people. The takeaway is go plant powered. Eat more plants in your life. Put them in some form, make, find out, join resource groups, find out more about it. How can you get more plants into your life? Because that's giving you longevity. That's also maintaining the quality of your life, whether the way you sleep, whether how you think, mental health, all of it. Everything changes the minute you start looking at a world in a different way. Trust nature, which is full of plants. And yeah, I think that's about it from me. I've shared a lot, which I hope has added value, uh, to people, and they can at least implement some part of it in their lives. So I land this on a prayer, and I just pray for a happy Diwali from all of us, Ela and me. Ela, if you want to say something, please go ahead.
So that takeaway was great, Kajal. It was you have almost summed up everything.
And
What we
one
do
last,
achieve here.
please show the hamper that one lucky person will be getting from Sipping Thoughts and from Plant Power.
Oh yeah, uh, there you go. This is the
So
hamper.
a lovely Diwali gift from us for one of the people that have stayed with us throughout the session. We will be sending one of you this lovely, lovely hamper.
And this is a sustainable, this is a code in it for everybody to be members with us. However, this is all thought of in, with a lot of abundance and with a lot of ease, grace, and joy that we wish to bring into you and your lives. So thank you, Sipping Thoughts. Thanks, Sukarti, and all. I know Rohit is there here somewhere. Thank him again for creating this beautifully.
Session. Thank you all for
Thank you,
joining us.
Sukriti.
Like, I know you all have a lot of questions. We've given Kajal's Instagram, her email, all of the thing. Please also come back to our Facebook page. Please do write your questions there. We'll try to get as many of them answered as we can. We thank you once again for joining us today. With that, I wish you all a good night.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Good night.
Bye.